started with Gabe Speier. Who wants to lead off? We'll start with Brady in the front.
Gabe, you said in Houston that at-bat against Walker was the biggest of your career. How did maybe that experience prepare you for what you've had the last two games?
Yeah, that last couple weeks of the season was really important for us and lots of high leverage moments. And obviously this series, these are the biggest outs I've gotten in my career. So, yeah, I'd say those last couple weeks leading up to the postseason definitely had prepared me for this. Yeah.
And Nico on the left.
Gabe right here. Just the idea that the other night in Game 2, when this team needed the hit, they got it. And all season long, we've heard you guys say this team has each other's backs, and certainly it appeared. How was the mindset since that game, and how do you feel heading into this, especially what we saw Sunday night?
Yeah, definitely a big moment, that hit. And, I think it's just given us momentum coming here to Detroit and hoping to continue that momentum and keep winning ball games.
Gabe right here. Yep. I heard you say the last day or two, you're asked about going against lefties, and you're talking about, I do my plan A. I think, you throw your best stuff, and that's been the plan. I just wonder, your conviction, has the conviction always been there to, hey, I'm going to throw my best stuff, and that's what I'm going to ride, or is that something that you've sort of bought into more in the last year or two or whatever?
Yeah, when I'm convicted in my stuff, that's when I'm throwing my best stuff. And, I think, there's been ups and downs with that. Thinking back on last year, being injured, I don't think I was throwing with the same conviction. My stuff wasn't quite where it should have been. So the conviction was probably not there as much as it should have been. But, yeah, I'd say this year, the confidence of just after what had happened last year, just the Mariners bringing me back, honestly, gave me a lot of confidence. I didn't know if I was going to be back, to be honest. And, that them believing in me, it was easy to kind of believe in myself after that. And yeah, this year I've been convicted in my stuff and it's worked out. And obviously, gonna focus on that and keep being convicted.
Do you really think they were gonna non-tender you or DFA you?
Yeah, I thought there was nobody really talked to me. At the end of the year, just the way the year went, I thought that could have happened. And I talked with Jerry at the end of last year, and I said, I want to be back here. And he told me that you're going to be. So that was big, kind of like weight lifted off the shoulders because, I really didn't know. But then, Jerry kind of told me, we want you back here. So that was really nice to hear.
We talked with Pete about your spring training meeting, how you went in and said, this is who I'm going to be this year. Were you planning on saying that? He said it quite colorfully, how you said it. But, when you went in, do you remember that conversation about this is who I want to get back to or this is who I want to be?
Yeah, I think the success I had in 23, I knew what that felt like, I guess. And then, having the down year in 24, I think the confidence I had in 23, I just wanted to get back to that. And I kind of just told them, this is what I'm going to do. And I've been able to do it.
Gabe, with this being your first postseason, what have you learned about the workload demands, knowing that your name could be called on any given night? And how much did the HP staff help prepare you guys to reach October?
Yeah, it's been a heavy workload all season long. I think I was like second in the AL in appearances or something like that. And so, it's been a heavy workload. And, the training staff has been a huge help. Lots of pills too, but the training staff has had my back all year. Really helped me out.
Gabe, you mentioned the confidence going into spring training. At what point in the beginning of the season did you kind of realize, okay, I got back to what I wanted to be, and was it basically the same as the way you felt in 23, or even an elevated level?
I'd say I felt it even before the season had started. Really, my first outing in spring training, I saw the velo kind of tick back up. So that was really nice to see, and I knew that my A+ stuff was coming out of my hand, and the confidence just kind of followed with it. What was the second part of your question? I'm sorry.
Compares to what you were feeling in 23 during the
same
feeling or any differences?
I'd say physically the same, mentally and mentally a little bit better. More confidence.
Yeah, but I'm sure this ties back to the conviction you were talking about before, but your success against right-handers in particular, was there a coaching conversation or a certain at-bat that, clicked for you where that kind of locked in, or what do you attribute that to, basically?
Yeah, we talked about plan A earlier. I kind of always had a plan A against lefties, and I didn't really have that against righties. I was just kind of maybe trying to be a little too fine with righties. And it was just a mental shift, really, just attacking righties with the same confidence that I do with lefties.
Gabe, you spent parts of basically a decade in the minor leagues before getting up and having a real mainstay role, everyday role in a major league bullpen. And then you took off, obviously, with the Mariners a couple of years ago. Was there a point earlier in your career where if you were to say to yourself one day you would be a major factor in a postseason series? Like, did you believe in that could happen for you? Or was that something that maybe even 5 years ago you didn't think that could be a possibility?
I've always had confidence in myself. I always knew that when I was healthy and right that I could be, a big factor in a bullpen. But, there were definitely times, thinking back to specifically 2022, I got sent down, and I had a 14 ERA in AAA. And there were definitely, those thoughts of creeping in, like, this could be it. I might never pitch in the big leagues again. So I guess it kind of goes both ways. Definitely had thoughts of this might be it, and I've also had thoughts like, I know I can do this, and I know I can do it at a high level.
Gabe, everyone in the bullpen has talked about how good it could be as far back as spring training, and we've really seen over the last month and these past couple games how good you guys have been, especially in high leverage situations. Just how have you kind of noticed everyone in the bullpen kind of gel together and really kind of just feed into each other over this last month of the season and these past couple postseason games?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, there's this group, the bullpen. We've been together for a while now. With some additions with Ferguson and Luke Jackson and some others, but and those guys just fit right in. They, those guys are veteran guys that have been around and honestly maybe even made us a tighter group with their experience and stuff like that. So, I think we're just really comfortable around each other, and we feed off each other, and we know we have each other's backs. If one guy comes in and can't get the job done, we know the next guy is going to come in and get pick us up, get our back, and get the job done.
What makes Munoz so dominant at the end of games, and also about Pizzardo? He's a guy I don't know much about, but he's been great. Can you just talk a little bit about what makes Pizzardo also so effective?
I think that they're just not scared. I mean, obviously, the stuff that's coming out of their hand is elite, so that helps. But they're just not scared. When I watch Munoz pitch, he's an assassin out there. He's not scared, and he doesn't. I think also it's not just the stuff, but I think there's some weird deception. I've never seen anybody throw like him. So he's got a lot of things going for him, and I think the biggest thing though is his mentality.
Gabe, also on Pizzardo, you saw him when he first came in, and they talked about it took him a while to understand the whole concept of attacking and everything like that. How have you seen him grow? I mean, you did that as well. You had to learn what they were really trying to preach.
Yeah, you hear these things, attack the zone and all these things, and it's easier said than done. But Pizzardo's really leaned into it. You can tell out there, no situation's too big for him. Doesn't seem like any moment gets the best of him. He's just kind of this even-keeled guy that, like I said, it doesn't matter the situation. He's going to be the same guy. He's going to go in and attack. And I think, having guys like Munoz and Brash and myself, somebody that throws a lot of strikes and isn't scared of anybody has probably helped. Like I said, we really lean on each other and bounce ideas off each other. And it's a tight-knit group, so I think he's learned a lot from the group. And like you said, he's grown a lot.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, guys.